As an economist, this is feeling a little bit like what I might call Liberation Day. The Supreme Court has struck down the tariffs that President Trump did under the IEEPA, Emergency Authority. They basically said that the law was not saying that this act could be used for tariffs. It was a complicated split decision in a lot of different ways, but the bottom line was completely clear that the majority of the tariffs that President Trump has done in his second term are now null and void. That includes the tariffs on Canada, Mexico, and China. It also includes the so-called reciprocal tariffs of at least 10%, and in many cases 15, 20% or more on countries around the world. The decision still leaves a substantial number of tariffs in place, done on what's called the 232 authority. Those are for specific goods like steel, aluminum, and autos. And it also doesn't speak to a wide range of other legal authorities the president would have to restore tariffs. That includes a provision for across-the-board 15% tariffs under Section 122. Those could be in place for 150 days if he chooses to use that. Additional tariffs on specific sectors under 232, or another trade authority, Section 301, if there's unfair trade practices alleged in different countries. So we remain in a state of uncertainty about exactly what this means. And the two broad things that we're uncertain about are, will the president decide that this was in some ways a lucky break, that it takes away a policy that it was relatively unpopular and helps slow cost growth in the run-up to the midterm election? A second thing is, if he tries to use other legal authorities, do the courts come back and place limits on those as well? This decision says they're not in the mood to be very indulgent of the president's tariffs. Broadly, though, I think my expectation would be that tariff rates end the year lower than they started the year, but higher than they would be this minute without the IEEPA tariffs. That the result of that will be a little bit less pressure on inflation, a little bit more impetus for economic growth, and overall some ambiguous implications for what it means for all the deals the president has struck with economies around the world. It was a big day, but it's still another chapter in what is unfolding uncertainty about U.S. trade policy.